With a wave of his candle, all three miracles made were come true. For the snowflakes turned to a white cloak and hood on Effie's head and shoulders, a bowl of hot soup came sailing to her lips and vanished when she had eagerly drunk to the last drop. And suddenly the dismal field and suddenly the dismal field changed to a new world so full of wonders that all her troubles were forgotten in a minute. Bells were ringing so merrily that it was hard to keep from dancing. Green garlands hung on the walls, and every tree was a Christmas tree, full of toys, and blazing with candles that never went out. In one place, many little spirits stood like mad on warm clothes, turning off work faster than any sewing machine ever invented, and great piles were made ready to be sent to poor people. Other busy creatures packed money into purses and wrote checks with they sent flying away on the wind, a lovely kind of snowstorm to fall into the world below full of poverty. Older and graver spirits were looking over piles of little books in which the records of the past year were kept, telling how different people had spent it and what sort of gifts they deserved. Some got peace, some got disappointment, some remorse and sorrow, some great joy and hope. The rich had generous thoughts sent them, the poor gratitude and contentment. Children had more love and duty to parents, and parents renewed patience, wisdom, and satisfaction for and their children. No one was forgotten. Please tell me what splendid place this is, asked Effie, as soon as she could collect her wits after the first look at all these astonishing things. This is the Christmas world, and here we work all the year round, never tired of getting ready for the happy day. See, these are the saints just getting off, for some have far to go, and the children must not be disappointed. As he spoke, the spirit pointed to four gates, out of which four great sleighs were just driving, laden with toys, while a jolly old Santa Claus sat in the middle of each, drawing on his mittens and tucking up his wraps for a long cold drive. Why, I thought there was only one Santa Claus, and even he was humbug, cried Effie, astonished at the sight. Never give up your faith in the sweet old stories, even after you come to see what they are only the pleasant shadow of a lovely truth. Just then the sleighs went off with a great jingling of bells and pattering of reindeer hoofs, while all the spirits gave a cheer that was heard in the lower world, where people said, "Hear the stars sing." I never will say there isn't any Santa Claus again. I never will say there isn't any Santa Claus again. Now show me more. You will like you will like to see this place, I think, and may learn something here, perhaps. The spirit smiled as he led the way to Little Pool, through which Effie peeped into a world of dolls. Baby houses were in full blast, with dolls of all sorts of going like live people, with dolls all sorts of with dolls with dolls of all sorts going on like with dolls of all sorts going on like live people. Waxen ladies sat in their parlors, elegantly dressed. Black dolls cooked in the kitchens. Nurses walked out with the bits of dollies, and the streets were full of tin soldiers marching. Wooden horses prancing, express wagons rumbling, little men hurrying to and fro. Shops were there, and tiny people buying legs of mutton, pounds of tea, mites of clothes, and everything dolls use or wear or want. Seems to me I once knew a rich girl who didn't give her things to poor girls. I wish I could remember who she was and tell her to be as kind, said Effie. Recall these things to people's mind by dreams. I think the girl you speak of won't forget this one. And the spirit smiled, as if enjoyed some joke which she did not see. A little bell rang as she looked, and away scampered the children into the red and green schoolhouse with the roof that lifted up so one could see how nicely they sat in their desk with books or drew on the inch square blackboards with crumbs of chalks. They know their lessons very well, and they're still as mice. We make a great racket at our school and get bad marks every day. I shall tell the girls they had better mind what they do, or their dolls will be better scholars than they are, said Effie, much impressed. Effie then looked through the window of Nine Mansion, where the family were at dinner. The children behaved so well at table, and never grumbled a bit when their mamma said they could not have any more fruit. Now, show me something else, she said as they came again to a low door that led out of the lawn. You have seen how we prepare for Christmas. Let me show you where we love to best send our good and happy gifts, answered the spirit, giving her his hand again. No, you have never seen that I will show you. Come away and remember what you see tonight. Like a flash, that bright world vanished, and Effie found herself in a part of the city she had never seen before. It was far away from the nicer places, where every store was brilliant with lights and full of pretty things, and every house wore a festival air, while people hurried and fro with Merry Christmas greetings. It was down among the dingy streets where the poor lived, and where there were no making ready for Christmas. Hungry women looked in at shabby shops, longing to buy meat and bread, but empty pockets forbade. Tipsy men were drunk up their wages in the bar rooms and in many cold dark chambers. Little children huddled under the thin blankets, trying to forget their misery and sleep. No nice dinners filled the air with savory smells, no trees dropped toys and bonbons into eager hands, no trees dropped toys and bonbons into eager hands, no little stockings hung in rows beside the chimney, no little stockings hung in rows beside the chimney piece ready to be filled, no happy sounds of music, voices, and dancing feet were heard, and there were no signs of Christmas anywhere. Don't they have any displays? Asked Elfie, shivering as she held fast the spirit hand. Don't they have any in this place? Asked Effie, shivering as she held fast the spirit's hands, following where he led her. We come to bring it. Let me show you our best workers. And the spirit pointed to some sweet-faced men and women who came stealing into the poor houses, working such beautiful miracles that Effie could only watch, working such beautiful miracles that Effie could only stand and watch. Some slipped money into the empty pockets and sent the happy mothers to buy all comforts they needed. Others led the drunken men out of temptation and took them home to find safer pleasures there. Fires were kindled on cold hearts, tables spread as if it by magic, and warm clothes wrapped around shivering limbs. Flowers suddenly bloomed in the chambers of the sick. Old people found themselves remembered, and sad hearts were consoled by a tender word. But the sweetest work was for the children, and Eve held her breath to watch these human fairies hung up and fill the little stockings with that which a child's Christmas is not perfect, putting in things that once she would have thought a very humble presents, but which now seemed beautiful and precious because these poor babies had nothing. This is so beautiful. I wish I could make Merry Christmases as these good people do, and be loved and thanked as they are, said Effie, softly as she watched the busy men and women to do their work and steal away without thinking of any reward but their own satisfaction. You can if you will. I have shown you the way. Try it, and see how happy your own holiday will be hereafter. As he spoke, the spirit seemed to put his arms about her and vanish with a kiss. Oh, stay and show me more, cried Effie, trying to hold him fast. Darling, wake up and tell me why you're smiling in your sleep, said a voice in her ear. And opening her eyes, there was Mamma bending over her, and morning sunshine streaming into the room. Are they all gone? Did you hear the bells? Wasn't it splendid? She asked, rubbing her eyes, and looking about her for a pretty child who was so real and sweet. You have been dreaming, talking to your sleep, laughing and clapping your hands, as if you're cheering someone. Tell me what was so splendid, said Mamma, smoothing the tumbled hair and lifting up the sleepy head. Then, while she was being dressed, Effie told her dream, and Nursery thought it very wonderful, but Mamma smiled to see how curiously things the child had thought. Then, while she was being dressed, Effie told her dream, and Nursery thought it was Then, while she was being dressed, Effie told her dream, and Nursery thought it very wonderful, but Mamma smiled to see how curiously things the child had thought, read, heard, and seen through the day were mixed up in her sleep. The spirit said I could work lovely miracles if I tried, but I don't know how to begin, for I have no magic candle to make feasts appear and light up groves of Christmas trees as he did, said Effie sorrowfully. Yes, you have. We will do it. We will do it. And clapping her hands, Mamma suddenly began to dance all over the room as if had lost her wits. How? How? You must tell me, Mamma, cried Effie, dancing after her, and ready to believe anything possible when she remembered the adventure of the past night. I've got it. A new idea. A splendid one, if I can only carry it out. And Mama waltzed the little girl round her little curls flew wildly in the air while Nursery laughed as if she would die.